So then, I guess we're gonna move on into our
The final
final,
topic
which
for
is
this one.
our writing section. And so I'm gonna briefly introduce it by saying this: we have we have many sections on Mystic, but I would say one of our staple sections is our writing section because we have a lot of people who make fan fictions or original stories, and I'm not going to speak of the quality because that's something you have to judge for yourself. But they're well grammar, like they're not like written in like I guess text, like texting language or like LOL. It's written in proper grammar, and most of it's in script. So if you don't like script, that's one thing. But um, I guess what I want to say is it's an enhanced script style. So you'll have dialogue in script, but then you'll have like descriptions, written similar to like a novel. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna promote. I'm gonna promote my two of my stories that I'm currently actively writing, like on a week-to-week basis, and then Don over here is going to promote his own. So I'll start. I'll start by doing one of mine, and then you can do yours, and then I'll do my second one. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start with the one that has the shorter explanation, and that is a fan fiction known as The Legend of Badass Zelda. Now, I know what you're thinking. What? Now, let me alleviate those what thoughts. So, essentially, the basic premise, without revealing too much, because, the prologue in itself it reveals the twist of what this story's about, but the gist of it is that this is the Ocarina of Time um, world, like the world building and similar timeline. However, it's not necessarily following the canon storyline, and it's a twist. Uh, it's not mostly serious. Like there are serious moments, but it's mostly for parody purposes. Um, it's really not to be taken too seriously. It's a fun. It's just kind of a fun story. It it's my spin on what Zelda could be if it were written in this particular manner. Let me see how I have the prologue written and posted, and then I have probably about 10 chapters, or no, not 10, about 8 chapters posted um, currently, and I'm really releasing them about once a week at this point, maybe once every other week. So it would be nice if you guys check that out, and you could also check it out on fanfiction.net at my account at Strider Zero. But it would be better if you read it on Mystic because the BB code works better on Mystic than fanfiction.net. All right.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, my fanfic that I have been writing is called Dragon Soul. Now, by default, it's an original work because it it's not directly like fanficking any particular universe, but in reference into what I said earlier about me being, you know, complaining about cheap references, is that yes, Dragon Soul has a lot. Even though it's in a semi-original story, it's basically has a lot of references because it's a series I created based off of one idea and then expanding it based on different things I've seen in various games and movies and television shows and whatnot that I've seen and played. Now the plot line has the main character in question, basically as put by Strider and AZX, gets powers in a similar way to the Green Lantern, and basically Alien comes down and gives her powers before the alien dies, and so she is tasked with protecting the item, known as the Dragon Soul, which empowers one with the abilities of the Dragon Warrior, the Dragon Soul Warrior. And so they have to. And this is her journey to stop the evil emperor who has captured all the souls, warrior souls, except the Dragon Soul. Now, I did a kind of setup post. The first thing I did was posted like a setup kind of narration that basically says, okay, this is where we're at the beginning of the story, which is kind of sort of, I guess, a prelude. But as of now, I have released 48 chapters of the fic. Now, I've gone through writing this fic. I've kind of gone through periods of consistent release, and then a period of not so consistent release, and then consistent again. But one of the things that could really help me keep it consistent is if you read it and if you comment on it, because as Strider knows, when the series started out, my writing was atrocious in terms of, but it's gotten better as I've gotten feedback, as I've been writing it, and as I've gotten feedback on it. So, which is the case for anybody, and whenever they do any form of writing or work, is that when they get feedback on it, they can learn from it and then improve upon it. So, and you can help do this to not just these fics works, but all the other works that are on the site. If and it becomes more active and people come back and continue writing. So, and if you eventually decide to write anything, put any in the writing section, you're going to want feedback so you know if it's good, so you can improve upon it and to see what people think about it. Because I might have a lot of views on my mind, but not as many people have been responding. So please read and please respond or discuss in the discussion section. So back to you, Strider.
Yes. That's something we definitely want to ask those of you who join and like reading. We definitely appreciate some feedback. That's the thing that helps us as writers the most, is constructive feedback, whether it's you liked what happened here, or you didn't like what happened here, and here's why. That is what helps us the most over the course of writing. I know I've been writing fiction, like actually posting it on the internet since 2007, and I can write the way I do now because of the feedback I've gotten from people. So on to the second one that I'm currently working on at actually a much quicker rate is what I like to call A Tale of Iron. Now, this is a medieval type of fantasy genre that, as I said, takes place in a medieval era, and basically there are two kingdoms. There's the Iron Kingdom and there's the Red Kingdom. The Iron Kingdom is more about their weaponry, their armor, and their skills, the physical combat skills. whereas the Red Kingdom focuses more on their magic. And so there's obviously there's trace elements of both in both kingdoms, but generally, the Iron Kingdom is better at one thing, the Red Kingdom is better at the other. So our our story takes place um, following five Ironborn, I guess you could say, and these five characters are actually based off of real people. Now, the first one, I guess you could say, is based off of myself. There's one who is based off of my friend here, Don. There is one who is based off two people that we've already mentioned. That is Link and AZX, and another one, somebody who hasn't quite joined Mystic yet, but there's always hope for the future. And basically, I've taken our personalities, our general appearances, and I've kind of dramatized them a little bit and made them slightly more quirky or slightly exaggerated, because I think the five of us have pretty unique personalities, and I think are good basis or basi for characters that can be definitely likable and workable, serviceable, whatever you want to say. And so these five are the protagonists, and they're on their mission, which you'll find out in the prologue, of course. And so far, I've gotten feedback from the people whose characters are based in this original story, but right now I don't have any feedback from outside perspectives quite yet, and so that's where feedback really needs to come in handy. Is I want to know how this holds up from an outside perspective, because if you think about it, I have a lot of inside jokes that only these guys and myself get, but I try to make them so that they're funny naturally on their own. I just need to know if it's actually funny naturally on its own. Um, so yeah, read our stories and please comment on them.
Yes, and one of the other things that that not everybody does in their fictions that I've done in Dragon Soul and that you've done in Tale of Iron is incorporated the uses of pictures and music
Yes, yes,
to help describe not only people's appearances, but in terms of music, maybe the mood of a particular situation, which you probably don't get on other sites that other fan fiction sites. Now, of
no,
course, this isn't a fan fiction only a fan fiction. Mystic isn't only a fan fiction site, but going into our writing section, you'll be able to see this being utilized to help enhance the experience. Which, once again, if we get more outside perspective, it'll help us see if it works as well as we think it is
right,
in our inner sanctum of people.
correct. Yeah, that's definitely important, I think. Um, I've been using music for probably about 5 or 6 years of my writing, maybe slightly longer. Who knows? It's been a long time.
But however, though, it's been more prevalent, or you've been using music slightly more in Tale of Iron than you have in your previous writings.
Yes, yes, that is quite true. Okay, so
I think that about does it for the first podcast.
yeah, if you guys are watching, just like with the writing section, if there's something you like about this podcast, tell us. If there's something you don't like about this podcast, tell us. We're open to constructive criticism. We're definitely open to ideas. And lastly, if you want to be a part of Team Mystic, which is part of our productions,
and be getting involved in conversations like this over the forum.
Right. You want to be active on the site, and let me know. Send me a PM. Say, look, I can do I can do that. I can make videos about. I can do let's plays. I can stream. I can write comics, or I can do whatever.
Or you just want to simply be able to go on the forum, become a member, and talk about the various topics.
Yes, and
Because it's not just because there's like he mentioned earlier. It's not just anime and manga. It's gaming and music and sports and writing and television and even debate. There's even you can debate about various subjects. Or hey, if you don't know what to talk about, there's also a potluck for just whatever.
yeah,
So no end to what you can talk about.
yeah. There's literally no end to the things that you can talk about on Mystic, and I think we have a good core in terms of good members with solid input. And so if you want to be a part of that core, join and be active and post, and will you'll be a part of a good I guess you want to say circle of members, I think.
But of course, the more of you that join, the bigger that circle can become, and the more fun and interesting it'll be.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I guess that'll be it for this week.
That's it. We've been talking for a while now.
Yeah. So yeah, guys. This has been the Mystic Podcast. The
Number 1.
Number 1, episode 1. So tell us what you tell us what you liked, tell us what you didn't. Leave
like
comments.
the video and subscribe.
Subscribe to this channel. Absolutely subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Like the video. So you can get more. Subscribe so you can get more of these videos. And come to the forum to join in on the conversations.
Right, and if you want to find out more information, there's also a social media thread that I will link in the description below, and you'll be able to see our Facebook, our Twitter, and you'll be able to see a blog page that I have up as well, and our YouTube page as well. So, thanks guys for watching.
Well, I guess this would be more, since it's a podcast, it's more like listening.
Yeah, thanks for watching the text on the screen and listening and
to our annoying voices.
Yes, indeed.
Just be glad he's not doing his Tristan, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Tristan voice.
What are you talking about? I can do that voice whenever I want. Nah, it was okay. So, hopefully, if you guys liked it, we'll see you next week.
Okay.